What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Boots, Banter, and Beyond, the stories of Irreverent Warriors, the show where stories about how humor and camaraderie have changed lives for the better. I'm your host, as always, Eric Schessel. Today on the show, we are joined by Brad from IW Memphis and Derek from IW Jersey Shore. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show this evening. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Just out here trying to get parked so I have a safe space to do this podcast.
But you got the spaceship, man. You could do that thing anywhere.
Yeah, well, it's got this tattletale feature that if I'm not paying attention to the road, it'll like start going crazy and say, "Hey, this is a privilege," and all this other stuff, and disengage the autopilot.
That's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Does it like totally just shut off your vehicle at any point, or?
No, it just shuts off the autopilot.
Okay.
So it makes you take back. Yeah, no napping, no doing crazy things with your wife while driving. Typical stuff that you would think you could do with autopilot. It doesn't let you do.
Yeah, no sexy time while driving the Tesla.
Right.
What about you, Derek? How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm just listening to Brad looking for another safe space. I'm exhausted. I spend most of my day in an ice cream truck.
Gotcha.
I'm ready for the off season.
You got any sweet treats for me?
Are you coming to Jersey next weekend?
I wish.
Look, as much as I love you guys, it always sucks because our hikes always fall around each other. Me and Memphis, I think we've been the same weekend for as long as I've been doing this, at least 3-4 years now. And it just, I love you guys. Wish I could be there to support you, but
you got a hike to do yourself. I get it.
Yeah,
that's the one thing you learn with. One thing I learned in an ice cream truck: consistency is everything. If people know when to expect you, they're going to be waiting and welcoming.
Yeah. So, all right. So before we get into talking about your hikes and everything, I want to know a little more about you as the people before IW. So, Brad, kick us off. Talk to us about your background, military history, all that good stuff. Hit us with those details.
All right. So I served in the United States Marine Corps, fellow jarhead, crayon eater. Green is my favorite flavor. Hence, you see the bite taken out of the green one. It's the only one that's colored in. Did 10 years, combat deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. After 10 years, it kind of took an emotional toll. And I kind of thought the Marine Corps was part of the problem. So I was like, all right, my marriage is on the rocks. The Marine Corps is the problem. Let's get out and everything's going to be hunky-dory. And then we can probably elaborate on that further down the line with a couple more questions.
Sure. All right, Derek, what about you, buddy? You have to unmute yourself. I don't know why you muted. You're muted.
I've had a cold, so a lot of sniffles. My dad did 22 years in the Air Force, so I joined the Marine Corps out of spite.
Hell yeah.
No, that's part of it. I had a cousin in 9/11 that was in the towers, and then it was we were very much the call to arms era of whatever generation they want to call us these days. I know you boys are a little bit older than I am. Yeah, did you guys join before or after?
After 2005, 2006.
Okay, so same. So we're the same age. Eric's, how old are you, Eric?
Making me feel old as shit. I joined in 99.
Yeah,
right out of school.
There it is.
Hey, tell you what though, man, look at this. Look at it. Fine line right here. For 44 years old, I'm looking pretty damn good.
You
So I'm
mean like when I was in Fallujah and I remember hearing about Camp Al Assad and they had hot tubs and stuff and I did get to go to Biop and y'all had a whole frozen food section and a bicycle section. It was like a Walmart in there. Like what? It was amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they had pretty sweet sweat setups in the early on in the safer zones. Safer.
What were you gonna say, Brad?
43. 43. So I'm a late bloomer. I joined when I was like 24. So I'm 1 year behind you. Don't feel too old.
I don't feel that old at all, even though it's all they talk about. It's not the mileage, it's the journey and all that stuff about just the wear and tear in your bodies. I don't feel 40 years old physically, but mentally I'm like 12. So it's balance.
Well, that's Brad every time he gets to put his hands in a fresh meat, just right out, just he feels 12 again.
Man, y'all should have seen the shirts we had made for the grunt style event. It was like, you're a 100% putting my meat in your mouth. Can't beat my meat. Meat so good you're gonna want to swallow. Like, it was pretty funny. I had to brace the inner irreverence to make some shirts for that event specifically.
Nice.
As somebody who has had your meat in my mouth, I will not question at all.
Right? We were all at a combat outpost. We know all about that meat.
Yeah.
I got to stand next to him and watch him prepare it, and it just, woo! He put some love into that before he put it in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
No, that was better than any catering, any hotel, when you got just your guys out there literally cooking, putting their heart and soul into it. Like, you can't beat that. That was,
Nope.
half the idea of being out there in the middle of nowhere is just getting that back.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. The barbecue community has a somewhat similar camaraderie, and that's why I think I fell in love with competition barbecuing so much, is because it does remind me of the veteran brotherhood. Like, just all the teams. Yeah, you're competing against one another, you're giving each other shit, but there is a camaraderie aspect to barbecue, especially on the competition side, that it gives me a sense of purpose again. So it's awesome.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So, Derek, talk to us. Tell us how you found Irreverent Warriors. How did you find IW?
Strangely enough, I was driving past another Marine's house who had a Marine flag out and all the stickers all over his car. And there was this jacked Asian dude out front in a wife beater and sweatpants. And he, of course, roll down the window, throw a Semper Fi, and just starts yelling at me. Yo, you ever been to Reverend Warriors Hike? And just no idea what he's talking about. No clue. I ended up going, and he was the only person I knew. I invited a couple people from high school that I hadn't seen in a couple years, and they came out. They've been to every Philly hike since with me. But that first year I went to Philly, and I didn't go back again for a whole year. And then that second year is when it really it clicked for me, because that was, had I gone to another hike or two the first year, it would have probably clicked a lot quicker. But that second year, returning, seeing people, them remembering you, that just it sells it for you. Because the whole thing is, at this point in time, I have a complete support system in my life because of this. Like, I don't know who your circles are, but I know that half of them are IW people. And that's just, these people prop us up at this point. We prop each other up, hold each other accountable. IW is a catalyst that, you can't buy something like that. It's just something that's created with blood, sweat, tears, soul,
Agreed. Brad, how about you? How did you find IW?
So I was at one of the OG hikes in Memphis in 2016 and 2017 before it was IW. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2015. A bunch of my buddies were talking about the Memphis area veterans, Silkies Hike, and I did those hikes. I know I was there because I have pictures, but I don't really remember it. That was back when I still drank. As I kind of talked about, like when I got out in 2015, I went through some really dark times and struggled severely with my mental health for about 3 years. Bouts of homelessness, bouts of substance abuse, alcoholism, you name it. Jail stints. 2018, I didn't do that hike because I was in jail. And I'm actually living at a residential treatment center for a year in 2019. And I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a sponsored ad for the Irreverent Warriors Memphis Silkies Hike. And I was like, man, I remember doing that. And I was like, oh God, but I'm sober now. Like, am I going to be able to do it? So I had to actually ask permission with Shelby County Veterans Court to leave the transitional living facility to be able to be gone all day to go do the hike. And of course, when I get back, they do a breathalyzer, they do a urinalysis, they make sure that I didn't drink or do any drugs. But I knew I was hooked. When I figured out that I could do that hike and be sober and I had found my tribe again, I was like, all right, I need this in my life and there's people that might need me. So after that hike, I started getting involved with the leadership team a little bit. I started helping out with some of the car washes and, you know, we get the post-hike blues. So we started doing some of the vet togethers and it just really blossomed into a really beautiful relationship that, you know, IW needs me, but I need IW just as much because my cup is filling up with the camaraderie and the healing that our brothers and sisters can do when we band together. So Nick, who's been doing it for a very long time, needed to kind of step to the side for a little bit. And he had seen me getting involved and he asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to take my place as LC? And I did for 2 years. And he was still a part of the team, obviously, but, you know, there was a lot of fear taking over something that had been so successful for so many years. But, you know, I hit the ground running and still the LC with Nick. So now we have the dual role co-LC. You know, he's a lot better at admin work than I am. And I'm really good at community partnerships. So we kind of have our yin and our yang together.
Good.
But IW helped save my life. I tried to commit suicide in a prison cell in 2018. So just being able to have that purpose again. And then through the IW hike, I was recruited to be a member at the VFW. And then at the VFW, like they see that I have some leadership skills. So now I've been, you know, within elected leadership for the past 4 years at my local post here. And then to watch the national organization, you know, form a partnership with the VFW is just really amazing to see what we can do together as two really heavy hitting organizations on a national front.
Absolutely. And from one guy to another, I'm glad that you're still here, and I'm glad that IW has helped you find purpose.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Like, I love IW more. Like, my buddy who went with me to the Grunt Style Foundation this weekend is not a veteran. And he sends me a message when we get back. He's the other half of Second Chance Smokers. And he sends me a message. He's like, dude, all my people you may know now are Grunt Style and IW people. Like, what have you done to me? And I was like, welcome to the family, even though you're not a veteran. But yeah, like, you know, they even embraced him as well at the Grunt Style integration event. It was pretty awesome.
Good. Derek, so you did find IW, but how did you become the local coordinator? How did you sprout up from just going on your first hike and doing all the Philly hikes and then become the LC for Jersey Shore?
It was that second year, the third year actually. I was trying. I'd reach out a couple times to see if I could get on the Philly team, and then found out that the Jersey Shore coordinator had to step away, and they didn't have anybody to step in. And as I was helping with Philly at that point, it just made the most sense. There's no reason this city should fall off the map at this point. That's for me, my wise, I've had my own mental health struggles. But my brother-in-law was active duty Army, who took his life. And when I found IW, I truly, truly believed that had this been around, back in 2011, that he'd still be here. And, going off of that, I have done everything in my power in the last, 3 to 4 years to create opportunities for veterans to come together and not be in that isolation or just a chance, because all you need is an opportunity to meet other guys. That's it. And that's all we really do is we just create opportunities for the catalyst to happen.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, and you guys have both had compelling stories, right? Like, yours, Brad, is a little more personal, and then, you guys are fine. You guys found community. You guys found the brotherhood. You guys found there was a hole, there was a void, and IW has helped fill that void. And I think a lot of not just local coordinators, but a lot of people who are just involved with IW itself have that hole filled because of the organization and what it's doing for the veteran community. So I'm super glad that you guys have both been able to step up and be leaders in this organization and help drive that culture change for veterans.
It's one of the things I like about IW the most is, we are an organization that's filled of broken individuals that has experienced healing, and to watch a newcomer and a first time attendee like come in, like a lot of times with that look of hopelessness and like not knowing their why and their how, and then when they attend our events and then watching the magic happen and that life feel back, that glow in their eyes, and just watching that transformation is really magical to me. And it's one of the things, as stressful as being an LC is it gives me that energy to keep pushing forward, because I know there's so many more just like us that need us.
Absolutely. And while I've got you talking, I want to pull up. So we're going to play around here. We got this. Bam. There it is. You've got Memphis Silkies Hike posters. This is the ninth year for you guys' hike. So talk to us about your logo. Give us the story behind your logo.
So Memphis obviously is known for home of the blues, so we had to put some sort of musical instrument behind it. Although Elvis was not born here in Memphis, one of the biggest things that's like worldwide known is Elvis, Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland. So one way to catch somebody's attention is to put Elvis's face, put the guitar with Irreverent Warriors Memphis on it. That was the kind of mindset behind the logo.
Nice. And so I make sure that I point in the right direction. So you guys, everybody sees those QR codes on that flyer. So if you are in the Memphis area, if you are in that Midwest area and you have not yet registered for this Silkies hike, then you are wrong, my friend. So you can take your little phone, you can scan the register QR code and get registered, because why the hell wouldn't you?
Right. We've also got our connect QR code. So if you're not already on our Facebook page to see not only our main event Silkies hike, but all the different events that we are doing, that we create Facebook events for, you've got our Facebook page connect as well on that QR code on the right hand corner.
Hell yeah. All right, so what can you tell us about your Silkies hike this year? Give us some juice. Don't give us away everything, but what are you willing to share about the hike this year?
This year, we're going to make it fun. A lot of games at every stop. We put a lot of thought into the laughter and just just making people laugh. So we've got a lot of interesting games that's going to be at every stop. We've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner being provided for those. Memphis is known for a few other things that are quite interesting, so I'll leave those to be surprises. You got to show up and find out. But we put a lot of thought into it. We kind of shortened the hike this year because we wanted to extend some of those stops. So every stop's going to be a 45-minute stop. Anything past 45 minutes and, just a little bit shenanigans and debauchery might start occurring. So we got to keep it moving, but we wanted to extend some of those stops.
Nice. All right. Derek, we've got the Jersey Shore. So, all right. So I'm pretty sure you've been asked this a bunch of times. So when are you guys going to get the cast of Jersey Shore of the show to come out and hang out like at a stop for you guys hike? Like, where's Snooki?
Okay.
Like, we want to know.
Okay. They're not even from Jersey. What are you talking about? We were arguing that when we were in the Marine Corps. Oh, that's too funny. No, we've done the same day for the last 4 years. And it's just this year we've gotten even more sponsors on board. We've got 2 different restaurants that one is completely veteran owned, and they're hosting us for an awesome after party. Not going to give away any details. And then Mudhen Brewing is amazing. And they're hosting us for our meet and greet. Brad doesn't want to give away any of his details, but it's not like it doesn't say pyramid on his flyer. I love the pictures. I love the pictures that come out of that every year with that darn pyramid.
Yeah. Memphis is a sister city of Egypt. That's why they put a pyramid here in the 90s, because we have a sister city that's somewhere in the Sahara that has a pyramid. So they were like, Memphis needs a pyramid in the United States. So here we are with a pyramid. It used to be called the Tomb of Doom. Then it was home to the Grizzlies. Now it's a Bass Pro. We got a Bass Pro shop that's a pyramid. That's just crazy.
That sounds like something straight out.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Brad, go ahead, Derek. Sorry.
They're going to let Brad rappel down it next year.
Ooh, he's going to slide down.
It's I think that thing's pretty hot. I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
I would have done it probably in 2015 when I was still drunk. But 2025, sober Brad is like, that's going to hurt.
And we're older now. I mean, we don't recover the same from stuff like that. Like all the physical stuff. This is not. I'm good. I stubbed my toe and I'm out for a week.
I do that enough climbing roofs every day.
So, Brad, talk to us about what are some of the struggles that you had this year in putting your hike together.
We really haven't had very many struggles. We've been doing it for 9 years. It's pretty fluid at this point. We have a little bit of things that we're trying to work with currently. The climate in society right now as a whole is kind of fucked up. And I'm sure everyone and their mom knows that President Trump just got on the news and said they're sending the National Guard to Memphis. So they just rolled in. And everybody that's an LC knows that we always get misidentified of something that we're not. We've been called everything from a KKK rally to a Proud Boy rally, all these different things. So we're adjusting on the fly. Normally we have our CVMA guys, our Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association, as our escorts every year. So we're looking into it right now to actually have a police escort. So the outsiders tend to hopefully not mess with us. But again, it's going to go into our safety brief. Don't mess with the crowds if they try to antagonize, because the last thing we need is a national spotlight saying veterans got together and then hit a bunch of protesters or something like that. So we don't know what's going to be going on the day of our hike right now, because the National Guard just is coming in right now. So we've got some planning that we're doing on the back end to alleviate some of that potential. That's our biggest struggle right now. Other than that,
Well,
Silkies Hikes are easy.
yeah. Well, all right. So you got the National Guard coming in. So I don't see why your hike numbers can't swell up. Get those motherfuckers to register. You know they're not all on duty. They're rolling shifts. Get the off duty guys and girls to join the hike element.
Yeah, we're actually having a Operation Graceland patch made to hand out to the National Guard people as we come across them in the community, and we're actively engaged with some of the National Guard units that are in our area, trying to get them to attend our hike. We actually got a big air whiff, 164th Air Wing unit here in Memphis, and a lot of our hike is going to a significant amount of them, I guess. We usually get about 20 or so people from the 164th that attend our hike, so we've got a presence within the National Guard. The unknown is how many guardsmen are coming from across the state that we just really don't know. But hopefully, if there are other guardsmen, they already know about IW, because we've got Clarksville that had a presence, still kind of does. We've got Nashville that's always been a killer hike. We've got Knoxville that's always been a great hike, and then we've got Chattanooga. So we've got a strong presence across the state as an organization that hopefully most of these people that are coming here know about us.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully you guys end up staying safe, because that was something. We're talking about the climate. Hopefully, that the hikes, all the hikes across the country, that are coming up over these next few weekends through the end of the season, are safe and everything, and nothing happens. We got to make sure that we're sending all of our positive vibes out to all you guys, all the LCs that are doing stuff over the next few weekends, just because you don't know what's going to happen. So we make sure that we're taking care of each other. Derek, struggles, brother. Did you have any struggles this year?
Just finding the time sometimes, and it's, realistically, you have to find 20, 30 minutes every couple days, every week, all year round. The one thing that's always a struggle, doesn't matter how great we plan, the weather always fights me the last week of September. Every year. I think 2 years ago, it was like a state of emergency, like 24 hours before the hike kicked off. There's flooding at the shore, but we still had I think between 70 and 80 people turn out for that hike. But we have nice intimate hikes at the shore. It's just your make or break with weather. It could start off cold and rainy in the morning, be nice and sunshine in the afternoon. My biggest obstacle at the shore that weekend is a monster truck show.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not like the actual monster truck show. It's
Elaborate.
there's the A actors and the B actors.
So this one's more the B actors.
Yeah, they're more the homegrown ones, it look like, which is, they still do a great show and all that. It's just not, your monster truck arena show, Monster Jam.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a show they do on the beach every year. Awesome. It is awesome. There's no hate on it. We walk past it. It's a great thing, but it's not Monster Jam, so it's not like you're fighting that. Because I couldn't imagine trying to fight that at the shore on the weekend.
Oh man, you'd have to talk to the organizers to make that like part of a stop somehow and get them on board.
People don't always like to share money, man. That's that's the only problem with it is the beach from the boardwalk in some spots, depending on day and tide, that could be like half a mile walk to the actual water.
Okay.
So generally it will be in between that space, but It's something that's definitely gonna be looked into. The problem is their shows don't kick off till we already walked past them.
Gotcha.
You know, they're a little bit more later than we are. But we do finish by the time their second show kicks in, so people can make it if they want to.
All right, that's cool.
But we have a awesome after party scheduled. But like Brad said, we've been doing this for years. And we have been working with these communities for years where, you know, they get used to seeing us at this point, and some of them are excited to see us, some not always the most excited because, you know, people do sometimes call the cops on us and sometimes we can be a little bit of a headache, but we have insurance, we have permits, we do everything the right way. You know, and it's you got to be prepared for everything. We've had DC hikes where we had every permit you could know possibly needed, and we still, as the best way to put it, got punked by the Secret Service.
I heard
We
about
had
that.
Yeah, we had permits to walk right past the White House, and some guy came out and was like, "Yeah, you need to go that way." And they started pulling up in SUVs at all the entrances and pulling like M4s out. And it was like, "Okay, why are we doing show of force right now? Like, you guys should have been briefed that we were walking by here. It's a night hike. We have permits. Here you go." They didn't care. And it's just things like that that you always have to be prepared for. You have to like you have to know the streets around your route. When I built the route, I've always gone with my HSC, and I make sure that I can always have a support vehicle with me because I've been to too many hikes where, you know, we're without a support vehicle for a mile and a half or whatever. And it just seems like that's always when you need it. You know, it's like, oh, we can't get water to us right now. Okay, you got people falling out. Why can't we get it all of a sudden? Um, You know, I'll go an extra little bit of a distance to go the right way up a street instead of going across a one way where we can't have our vehicles with us.
Right.
Um, you know, so I've always kept my HSC in mind, and we've always planned that together, and that has always made it so much easier and smoother for the day of. Because these things don't happen without our support volunteers. Brad and I could kill it. We could do great, but without them, it doesn't actually matter.
Oh yeah.
It's like we're just hurting a bunch of great overgrown children that we all love that have some inner child inside of us that needs to be healed and needs a hug. Um, but you know, without them, these things would not happen. I'm always
Agreed.
extremely thankful.
We all are. You know, we all understand that the volunteers, without the support staff for these events, that they don't happen
Oh yeah.
without them.
Yeah, we got a killer hike support coordinator. She's been involved since day one in 2016. And her team is just rock solid. She's had pretty much almost the same volunteers year after year after year after year, just watching them work. Like they know what to do at every aspect of our hike. So yeah, we couldn't do it without them.
Oh, and they're happy to do it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, I look. My HSC is Jen Bud. You know, she's been around a long time. She's HSC'd for a lot of different cities, but they're family at this point. We go up there for sometimes we go up to her house for holidays. They live about an hour and 10 minutes away. We'll crash there. We'll go out to eat. I've done work on their house for them. That they've become family. And if this organization didn't exist tomorrow, all of you would still be my friends, you know? And that's what I always have to remember is things come and go, but all the impacts, those last. Every person that you've come across, that's where everything matters. You know, the object that created it, great. but the actual friendships, that's the magic.
It is, and that's it's like one of the whole things that we talk about, like at the our post hike brief is don't forget the connections that you made, because those are, if IW ended tomorrow, you're going to need these connections for the rest of your life. So it's super important. Brad, talk to us about all right. So scenario, you're coming across someone in Memphis somewhere, whether they're veteran active duty. They either they haven't heard about IW, or they have heard about IW, but they have not yet pulled the trigger to come out to one of our events. What do you say to them? How do you convince them to come out to the Silkies Hikes or to one of your get-togethers?
Man, just have them join our Facebook page. Invite them to a vet together, something that's on a smaller scale, because a lot of veterans have some anxiety about crowds and stuff like that, and that's rightfully so. So everyone has their own internal boundaries. Invite them to something smaller. Have them meet just a few of the people. Try to convince them, like, look, you don't know what you're missing until you actually attend it, and then you're like, all right, this was or wasn't for me. But typically, break a joke, talk about the shorts, and be like, don't you want to be an overweight dad and hang out with a bunch of overweight dad bods wearing really short shorts? Come on, man, it's fun. But no, we're all inclusive. We've got really good within our partnerships. We've got a good in at the VA hospital, and all the different veteran service organizations in our community. So pretty much everybody knows about us, except for people that aren't really on social media. But that's why we've got the IWMemphis.com webpage now. That's a landing page that through Donor Drive that you can create for the people that are so anti-social media. You just give them the mission card and tell them, look, we'd love to have you, and hope to see you.
Derek, same scenario.
If it's somebody like me who'd heard about IW, because even then it still takes a little pushing sometimes. I think for me, I would approach it and ask, what's holding them back? Or, what, because a lot of people have heard different stigma, or trying to think the best way to word it. We've been called bar crawls, or just, rowdy, drunken, whatever. And it's everything we've done to break that and, destroy that image that had been cast upon us. Because I feel like that's definitely one of the things we've all heard from somebody out there, oh, you guys are just a bar crawl. And it's like, no, we're not even a little bit. And that's, I know that's all of us get really defensive because we've worked really hard to get away from that mentality. Because it's everybody is welcome. And, we've all dealt with different scenarios. But we've gotten to the point where, it seems we've finally made it to a point where, it doesn't matter if you're drinking, sober, whatever it is, you can comfortably walk in a hike and it not be an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
And we fought really hard to get to that point, because I know years ago, if you're not drinking, you're getting made fun of.
It was a shit show.
Like
I said, I was there because there was pictures, but I don't really remember it. But that's what I tell people all the time. Like, it's a bar crawl. I'm like, I'm sober. I've been sober 6.5 years, and I'm an LC. Like, it's not a bar crawl.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Matt Parsons, my best friend up here that runs Philly, him and our first hike was the same hike. We don't remember meeting each other.
Even on my first hike, I didn't really drink that much. I think it was because my first hike was 2018. Or sorry, 2019, because 2018 was the first year of the hike here in Connecticut. And I didn't drink. I was there by myself mostly, and so like I didn't really know a whole lot of people. So I didn't want to get hammered and be unsafe because I didn't know anybody. And stuff like that. And then after that, I was part of the leadership team. So I don't think I've ever drank at a Silkies hike, because I've always been either a volunteer or part of leadership.
Air Force. Air Force.
What does that have to do with anything? You go to hell.
Marines and Army just go a little bit harder. Sorry.
You don't know how hard I go, or how hard I used to go before I really kind of slowed down. I don't drink that much anymore, anyway. So
Barely ever, and if I do, it's the girliest drink you've ever seen. So,
right, give me give me a lover boy or something, and I'm good.
and when you don't want to taste the alcohol, why are you even drinking anyways?
Right. But, all right. So, Brad, any final words of wisdom?
If you don't come to either the Memphis or the Jersey Shore hike next weekend, you're wrong. There's no excuse. Both of our hikes are going to be killers, so you can't go wrong.
Hell yeah. Derek, any last words of wisdom?
Yeah, I need Brad to send me some meat. I don't care if it's pulled, smoked, jerk. I don't care. I need a care package.
Oh, jerking meat. All right, hold on. I rub it. And jerk it.
Set off alarms, brother.
And look, and the love that they put into cooking, it shows. It 100% shows. And watching him do his thing, and you could see how it's helped heal him. And that's any one of us that have found something that helps us, like you can just see the joy as they do it, and it's like you can't argue that.
It's a modality. Cooking for me allows me to shut out the outside world from my chaos. And I'm not worried about anything else in the world except making that dish do what I want it to do. And then watching the satisfaction of people enjoying it is just like even that more added of a bonus. Hell, our first vet together after the hike is a barbecue contest. So I'm cooking enough barbecue at this contest to host a vet together for veterans across the Mid-South to come hang out at the barbecue contest as a vet together. Like it's the weekend after our hike. Like, so we use barbecue contests as vet togethers as well.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Guys, I can't wait to see how your Silkies hikes go. I do hope they're a huge success and you guys are both super safe and everything like that. It's everything you guys want it to be. We want to thank you guys for spending some time with us tonight. Thank you guys again so much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Make sure you guys share this episode far and wide so we can bring a little humor and camaraderie to anybody who might listen in or watch. So until next time, stay irreverent, my friends.